my message this week will be, let's go put a performance in front of our fans that they deserve. From just a commitment and an effort and a desire and a hunger and an ambition, because we didn't have it there today in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, hi Nick. Appreciate this would be difficult for you to answer, but yeah, how big of a blow was that defeat?
Yeah, it's really tough to take personally because, this is way below the level that our fans deserve. The result against our rivals is painful, but I think the first 30 minutes is the most disappointing part because I don't think we competed. Now, there's an element of a lot of important players missing, but there's no excuse because, when 11 go up against 11, you have to compete. And I think in these games, one thing that I've learned is that, you have to absorb pressure at times, and then you have to make sure that you have a threat in the game. And for the first 30 minutes, I don't think we did.
Why do you think that was the case? Was it just preparation, mindset?
I think we get, I think there's a lot of conversation nowadays about, the beautiful side of the game, systems and tactics, and, we get lost a little bit in like how are we going to, be this possession team or transit. Well, you got to win tackles, you got to win duels, you got to win tackles, you got to make sure you compete. And Man United competed harder than us today, and I said at half time, you got to make a game of this. You got to go out and level the game up in the sense of how much we compete. For us, is the question why is we got to work that one out, right? We got to make sure that we go away and we figure out whoever we play and however we play, we make sure that we compete at the level that our football club expects.
And there kind of isn't really a way to say this without asking it quite bluntly, but does that feel like the season's kind of over? That was, obviously the only silverware left to play for.
In the sense of trophies, it is over, right? We can't win a trophy. We can mathematically still get in third place. And I said before the game, I think for us, we have to win out now. It's dead simple. We have to win every game. And if we win every game and Manchester United slip up with a difficult finish, we've got a chance. That means we have to win in front of our fans and play better. We have to go and win in Old Trafford. And, you have to embrace the real pressure and the real responsibility of that. And, I said before the game, it's going to be a difficult game, this one. And, you have to be able to absorb pressure and fight through it. And that'll be no different in the next 4 games.
Thanks, Nick. Cheers.
Kit. Hi, Nick. Can I ask about Mary, first of all? Just have you got any update on her from her?
It doesn't look great in the sense of adding her back into the training squad or adding her into the injured squad imminently. But we're going to have to wait, right? You don't know. It can turn around quickly. But to lose Mary Fowler in an important game in an early stage was, really difficult. To lose a goal in the moment when we had 10 players was catastrophic.
It looked like her right knee was the issue. Is that correct?
I think it is knee, yeah. But I don't want to speculate or also confirm. I don't think we're not fearing the worst here. But ultimately, when you come off with knee pain, so to turn it around in 7 days. But I don't know. I'll leave it with the medical team, right? So, I wouldn't go saying that.
And just last in that instance, she did have a lot of strapping, it looked like, on her right leg. What was kind of her...
Yeah, she's been wearing some strapping on her hamstring. She's got tightness in her hamstring, so she was past fit to play. But some players wear that just to give themselves the best chance of getting through without pain. But no, she wasn't injured before the game.
Okay, and you kind of alluded to it when speaking to Emma. It was another injury, and there's so many players missing for you guys at the moment. Can that amount of injuries just solely be down to bad luck, or is there kind of other reasons that maybe need to be examined, that the injury crisis has been so bad in recent weeks?
I think the injury crisis needs to be examined 100%. I think every football club will do a post-season review. I think for us to examine it now is difficult because you have to go really in depth for that, and you have to make sure that you have everybody involved, and we're still preparing for games. But with so many injuries, they can't all be bad luck, but they can't all be down to poor practice. We have to figure that one out, and for us, it's a process we would go into anyway in the end of the season in reviewing.
And that'll be factors like injury prevention and I guess prehab and things like that.
Yeah, I think you have to look at everything, right? You have to look at why we're sitting fourth in the league, why we've not won a trophy, why we've not got our best players. The review process will be almost covering everything, because for me, I believe we should compete in every competition right till the end.
Amy?
Hi Nick, just on the injury front, can I ask about Jill, who was obviously missing today?
Yeah, Jill came back from Holland injured, so, like every team, we didn't want to reveal everything to try and give a bit of. But she came back from Holland injured, so she wasn't fit to play.
Is that looking like, just a week by week, or?
I think it's a week by week one, yeah. So she hasn't been ruled out for more than today. I'm hopeful and expecting Jill to be fit for the next game.
Thanks, Nick.
Sandra?
Hi, Nick. Commiserations. What would the message be, I guess, for the rest of the season for the players? Because, as you say, I mean, you say that obviously you can't make excuses, but that pretty much the forward line's been decimated, more or less, and then you've got some young players on the academy on the bench. But what would the message be for the players for the rest of this season? And I suppose looking ahead to the summer and just afresh on this season of England.
Yeah, I think the message is probably going to change. I think my message previous to this game was let's go win an FA Cup and let's get in the Champions League. My message this week will be let's go put a performance in front of our fans that they deserve. From just a commitment and an effort and a desire and a hunger and an ambition, because we didn't have it there today in the first 30 minutes. So I think we've got to strip it right back to basics and make sure that our fans are special, and they're special to me, and they deserve a team that competes however the game looks, right? We can't always have it beautiful and neat and tidy. So we have to show more desire. Beyond that, this team is a winning team and will always be a winning team whether I'm here or not. And we have to make sure that every person and every process we have is focused around the direction of winning. And at the moment, we're in a place we shouldn't be. So we have to make the necessary changes to make sure the direction of the team is moving more towards where it should be.
Did you feel like the injury to Mary Fowler almost kind of psychologically impacted the team a little bit because of how many injuries you've had? Now you see another player go down, can't be easy for players to deal with that during the game. Maybe if you could have Colby was injured as well, it would be a bit more normal, but because of how the season's gone.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't see the game like that. I see individual. For me, no matter how it looks, you should compete and have everything and see an opportunity to win. And I take any 11 players in the world, and I believe that they can win a football game in a certain way. When I lose Mary, I personally don't think, we don't have a chance now. I think, Carolyn will cause them problems, and Kirsten scored at the weekend before right back. So I think that might be our problem, right? That we might just not have the toughness and the desire to just go attack the game however it looks. And one thing you saw with Manchester United is, I don't know, but I've also heard a lot of the things around maybe how the things that have been said, and what you can see there is a team that have really pulled together, really galvanised and fight for each other.
Any more questions? Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you, guys.